Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Jake from All Emotion. Thank you all for taking the time to tune in. We are very excited. This guest lives in Medellín, Colombia. He's an MMA fighter, entrepreneur, and his business is called the Belfort Experience Tours. Let's take a listen to Living Abroad. That is right. 2025 in the house. Let's get it. ScarCity, you there?
Yes, sir. You already know. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get it. Let's go.
How's your new year going so far, ScarCity?
Amazing. Amazing. All of the things that I planned out are coming into fruition.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with yours truly, All in Motion. And we got a special one for you all the way from Medellín, Colombia, Breagan Whittington. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy New Year.
So, thank you for being patient with us, Breagan. We are happy to have you on All Emotion finally, sir. How's life? How's your new year?
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having me. New Year's going good. Doing a little bit of transitioning with my New Year's resolutions, and that's going well so far. I'm going vegetarian, in case you guys want to know. So.
Why? Really? you're gonna do the cow and the pig and the chicken?
No, I've been doing some research, watching some documentaries, and I want to test it out. 2024, I did a lot of self-improving physically as well. Come this year, now that I'm probably in the best shape that I've been in almost 10 years. Now I'm kind of like, okay, let me test out my limits. Now that I'm in my prime fighting years, I want to try to do things that might benefit me. And trust me, I love meat. I want to eat meat, but I also love to win, and I want to try to do things to help me win. So I want to try out the vegetarian route and see how that goes.
Vegetarian, man. So,
sweet.
Any questions?
Oh, dude,
any questions? Let me know. Been a long time.
I have many questions. Perfect. You opened up a can of worms now.
Let's go.
Awesome.
All right, that's awesome. We want to get into it. Want to let the audience know who you are, what you're about, and where you're from. But which is really unique is the fact that we want to let the audience know where you reside.
Yeah. I live in Medellín, Colombia.
Awesome. So, as we get into it, let's just fill the audience in on who you are and where you're from originally.
So I grew up in Murfreesboro, North Carolina. Had to drive an hour to go see a movie, 30 minutes to get to Walmart. High school was 30, 40 minutes away. So the bus would pick us up pretty early, like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. Grew up in a small town. And day after I graduated high school, I moved up to Northern Virginia. The DMV area is what they call. And that's where I was. That's where I was until 2021 was when I moved over to Medellín, Colombia. And small town North Carolina, it was very different. It was a very rural area. Literally, we were right on the northern border of North Carolina. So I could go to the Virginia line in 5-10 minutes. So we were literally kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's where I came from.
Awesome. That is awesome. What's some of the big changes when I would say you hit high school from that transition? What was that like?
Oof, great question. That transition when I was a kid, man, I had a lot of issues. I had to really kind of grow up quickly to kind of figure out how to mature and kind of be normal in society. When I was a kid, I had a lot of issues, always in trouble with school, but not because I was a bad kid. I just was bored. And, I would always leave class because I finished my work first. I had a lot of, I would say, I don't want to say medical issues. I don't really putting a label on that stuff. But I had Tourette's, ADD, ADHD, OCD. Growing up with that stuff kind of made it a little bit difficult in my own head to kind of be a normal kid. I was not a normal kid. Took years to become a normal kid. And then when I got to high school, I ended up focusing a lot more on sports, and that was my outlet. And all the issues that I had as a kid started kind of growing out of, and kind of, my outlet was wrestling, sports, just staying active, and which is one of the reasons I don't really believe too much in giving medicine to children. And then in high school, focused on more sports, got out of that, all those little tiny habits as a kid. And high school was fun, man. I made it fun. I was a class clown. So always doing little things that just to keep myself entertained, but not like in a bad way. Like I would always get in trouble for talking. I talked a lot, which you guys might hear me soon talk a lot. But then, other things such as I got older, I was just really focused on trying to get out the area. And when I finally graduated high school, I ended up I moved up Northern Virginia. So that was the transition that I kind of really stuck to from there, from North Carolina.
Awesome. And appreciate you sharing it. And as we speak about ScarCity and I and Melissa on All Emotion, we talk about trauma, mental health, and entrepreneurship, and it's great because that's where we're going to segue into here shortly. But do you think part of that experience that you just shared shaped who you are today? And the fact, do you think the trauma is good in the way that it shapes you who you are today? And would you change it?
I wouldn't change it. I had a lot, all the trauma that I went through. It pushed me to really kind of want to step out my comfort zone. And, uh, my biggest thing was of all, I had so many good excuses to like become nothing, to become a bum, to, just become a problem child. And I used a lot of that stuff, that trauma, to get myself out of the comfort zone, move up to somewhere that I'm not very familiar with, day after I graduated high school. And then years later, after I feel like I've climbed my ladder that I wanted in DC, North DMV area, and after there, pushed me even more to continue pushing my limits to explore and search for more opportunities for myself. Because majority of the time, even with all the trauma, a lot of it was trauma dealing with personally, myself, me alone. Not saying I was ever lonely, but just saying, and I had a strong support system. But it really got me to want to try to search for more opportunities for myself, because I know through all the negative stuff that I dealt with, I know that it was searching for the other opportunities was going to help me become and find who I really want to be.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you sharing. Just wanted to touch on this really, really quickly. From those experiences, what do you think you pull out of it that you would share? What could others do that are in high school, that kind of transitional period, like you just spoke about? What would you share with them when they feel like they're really stuck? Maybe they're suffering from depression.
Yeah, I would definitely say, and I just said this yesterday to someone. I went to lunch with someone that I haven't seen in about 10 years, 9, 10 years. And he's from Northern Virginia, and he came here to Medellín, Colombia. He's here visiting. We got lunch yesterday, and we were talking, just catching up, and I told him, and it's pretty cool because his response was like, "Oh, I'm actually doing that. I'm trying to do that." So I told him, I was like, and this I'm telling you guys as well, is if you don't have anything locking you down, if you don't have maybe kids, and you don't have, you're not married, if you have the opportunity to go explore, search other opportunities in other countries, just, go somewhere for a month, check it out, travel, and you're going to find out a lot of cool things, and it'll open your mind to know that the world is not all as bad as media goes out and says it is. Like I just an hour before I got on here with you guys, I messaged in my soccer group back in DC. They were talking, it's snowing over there. I know you guys are dealing with a lot of snow. Hope you guys are doing okay with that. And, these guys are showing pictures of the snow. And I ended up showing a photo of, the weather here. It's always in the 70s and 80s. So it's springtime all year. And I sent a photo of that and the weather. And then someone responds back and he's like, "Oh, I just watched a video 2 days ago that told me how dangerous Medellin is." And I'm like, and I responded the same way I just said to you guys, media is like, I mean, that's media just trying to get you to stick to the status quo and not find out things on your own so you can live a happy life. Like majority of the times you watch all these Netflix series, you do research, everything says, obviously you think of Colombia. What's some of the first things you think of when you hear the words Colombia, Medellin, Colombia? Obviously negative things, but why? Why is it negative? Well, because we look at Netflix, these Netflix series, Pablo Escobar, all this stuff. And all that stuff is not as all is going on as much as you think. Like, that's just media. It's straight up media trying to just get you to believe what they want you to believe so they continue controlling you.
So you transitioned at what age to Colombia?
I transitioned, I moved 25. I wish sooner, to be honest. Should have been sooner.
Over there at the age of 25. What did you notice when you went to Colombia? Were you already bilingual? Are you bilingual now? Did you feel comfortable going there? What was the...
I could actually give you a really good, funny story about that. So
Oh boy!
So-
Patrick, best friend, business partner, he's actually straight up the reason I even went over to Medellín, Colombia.
Nice.
I did the same when I moved up to Northern Virginia. I had one friend that I knew very well, and I went up there, and all I need is one person. I need one person there, and I can branch off and create my own network and go from there. When I transitioned, when I first came to visit, I didn't know Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenas noches. When I first came to visit here, which was, I believe, March 2021, right at the end of COVID, when I ended up coming to visit, I didn't speak any Spanish. That was probably the most difficult part about things, not being able to learn the language, speak the language at first. But Google Translate works tremendously. It's not that hard. Now, even nowadays, you can even get like a headphone. Technology is amazing. It's beautiful. I went on plenty of dates my first time here, and I didn't speak Spanish. I just used Google Translate. Pretty simple and easy. And then what ended up happening is I took about 1 month of classes, and only an hour per class 3 times a week for 1 month, just to learn the adjectives and where to put them. And then when I learned that was after the first time I came to visit, because the first time I came to visit, no, I didn't know Spanish. I wasn't even thinking of taking classes to learn, but I kind of knew that I wanted to live in Medellin, Colombia, just after the first couple of days. Obviously, I mean, the weather's amazing year round. It's inexpensive. It's back in DC, I was the square foot compared to the amount of money you're putting into the place you're at. It's not even it shouldn't even be legal, but it is. Inflation. So, I learned Spanish over time. It took me a few months. Some people say, I learned it quick. So that was my transition when I came here. And then I told myself, it was a few days after my trip. I was only supposed to be in Medellin, Colombia for like 5 days. I canceled my flight 7 times because I didn't want to go home. Cried on the plane back because I just really love being here. And, I did cry on the plane also because there was a sad movie. And then I made a goal and to move to Medellin. I'd say, 6 months, like less than 6 months, that following September. So to live there permanently, that was my goal. And, saving up money and just working, having a goal in mind, and I made it happen. I said I'd do it, and I did it. And it's funny because I had like a whole bunch of going away parties because I worked in nightclubs in DC for like almost 8 years. So everybody was always saying, "Oh, we give you 3 months, we give you 4 months." Everyone was making bets at how long I'd be there. Everybody lost their bet because I've been here 4 years and I haven't left yet. So it's kind of funny.
Awesome. The audience does not know. Some of them don't know. You are an MMA fighter, correct? You want to just speak about that for a little bit and let the audience know so they can kind of have a baseline of...
Yeah. Of course. I wrestled all throughout middle school and high school. I got really serious about it towards the beginning of high school, and then I did year round wrestling, second at states, Greco wrestling, freestyle, folk style. And then after I ended up graduating high school, I wanted to keep doing those sports. I wanted to keep wrestling, and I started coaching wrestling at Tuscarora High School, Loudoun County High School as well. Volunteer first. The first year, got my foot in the door as a volunteer at Tuscarora High School, thanks to Coach Bango. And then after that, year after, Loudoun County High School hired me under Joel Caruso, awesome guy, great, both of them great guys. And I was an actual assistant varsity wrestling coach. I was the youngest in Loudoun County. So then and then during those years of coaching, I was also into MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai. I stayed training those sports and started fighting MMA under Disciple MMA over in Sterling, Virginia. And great guys over there. I learned so much. Once I started kind of moving with life, because life happens. It's not like you just make a whole bunch of money from fighting amateur. It takes a lot of sacrifices. Then took a little bit of a hiatus, and then I got back to it.
You had a fight that was scheduled, and you want to tell them?
Man!
So you were scheduled to come. So you came here for work, but the main goal was to train as you work to fight. And
yeah. So when I come back to the States, I get sent back by the company. They take care of everything. I'm not to toot my own horn. I'm good at my job.
Break that down a little bit. Just like, I think you have a sponsor, or people pay for you.
Yeah. So the company sponsors me to come back. Insurance restoration. When a storm hits an area, I'm the guy that can help someone get a new roof, a new siding, and get the insurance to pay for it. So after that, I ended up with that, come back to the States this past time. A few months ago when I came back, I had a fight scheduled. I had my first boxing match, and it got canceled. And I fight under Kaizen MMA now. Kaizen is my team when I'm in the States, and when I'm over there, that's under Coach Gustavo. Coach Gustavo is my boxing coach, and then Sensei Nima is the head coach of Kaizen. He's awesome. So I was supposed to fight, and then they canceled my fight 6 days before my fight because drama, man. Fighter drama is the funniest. Fighter drama is the funniest. So I was prepared and ready. They canceled my fight 6 days before, so that happened.
Why did they cancel your fight?
Oof. So I had a really good friend of mine, and him and I considered him one of my best friends. We spoke every day, hung out. We trained together, and man, it still gets to me because I'm like, I can't believe this type of thing happened that kind of broke us apart. What ended up happening was, he had a friend all over a girl, man, and it's not even a girl that I wanted. So I'll start from the beginning. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So him and this girl, they dated for a few years, and they lived together. And then I was always giving him advice and helping him out, and because he was always stressed about it, not sure what to do, and because she was a lot older than him. She's like 37, 38. He's like 25. She has like 18-year-old kid. Finally, he got a hold of his balls and decided to leave and get out of the negative situation. And so they broke up about a month and a half later. This is when I was there and, training, preparing for my fight. She messages me on Instagram, and, I don't roll that way. I told him immediately that same day. I'm like, yo, like, dude, you need to talk to this chick. This ain't cool. Why is she messaging me on Instagram? And, he's like, oh, like, she needs a job, yada, yada, yada. And I tell him, I'm like, okay, well, okay, and why does that fall on me? And he's, saying, oh, well, actually, she wants to work in nightlife. And I'm like, okay, well, again, this is your ex. First off, why do you care, brother? And then second, why does this fall on me? He's like, well, bro, like, she's struggling, and she needs a good job. She wants to work in nightlife. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't know why I have to help, but do you really need me to help? I don't understand the situation. And he's like, yeah, man, like, she's struggling. And I told him, I was like, all right, well, okay, all right, for you, I'll help. All right. So I ended up taking her out a few times, introducing her to some of the managers, the places that I know that probably would hire her. She doesn't drink. She's a little older, and she's attractive. She has good head on her shoulders. So she, these clubs wanted to hire her mainly because she doesn't drink. Majority of these girls that work at these clubs, they're all alcoholics, majority of them. So it's hard to work when you're, drunk. So some of these clubs really wanted to hire her because she doesn't drink. So I got her linked up with the right people. Then I started noticing she started coming on to me. kind of starting flirting with me. And I'm like, oh, man, this is exactly why I said I did not want to do this. So I'm like, I'm just like, yeah, man, this is not cool. This is exactly why I didn't want to do this. So I ended up dissing myself, and I'm nice, naturally you can flirt, but not in an intentional type of way. You feel me? So, I started distancing myself from her, and I stopped talking to her altogether. And then 2 weeks later, literally 2 weeks later, I'm having the best nap of my life. And I was sleeping so deeply. And then I get a call from one of my best friends, and he calls me, he's yelling, he's like, oh, like, and basically she told him that we hooked up a few times, and we didn't. I was like, bro, you really think I did that? And he's like, man, like she showed me messages, blah blah blah, and man, this girl, oof, wow, man, I guess intelligence comes with age, man, because she created a pretty good story, had messages deleted, made it look like I was, inviting her out all the time. And I ended up telling him, I'm like, bro, like, really look at the scenario, okay? Really look at it. I live in Medellín, Colombia, okay? I'm a single guy, okay? I'm kind of cute. So why would I go for your 37-year-old ex-girlfriend that you've been dating and hooking up with for the past few years? Why would I go for that when I'm good, bro? Like, you really think I would go that route? So what ended up happening was he just believed her and ended up talking. He works at the gym that I fight out of. He's one of the coaches, and because he's there, he tells the head coach, who's the owner of the gym, and the owner of the gym is actually closer to him, ends up telling me that I can't come back to that location. So unfortunately, I couldn't go back to that location, and he got my fight canceled because of that. Pretty petty, especially after he knows how much sacrifices I put in. 2024, oh my goodness, man. The amount of training and time I spent on it, just getting back into the mindset of it, fighting, training. It was pretty upsetting that he went that low to get my fight canceled 6 days before my fight.
That's a pretty amazing story, man. And it's like, did you ever get a chance to actually fight, like after that, or was that just a one and done type of situation?
No, that was I'm gonna fight here soon. I might have a couple boxing matches in February, but I do have a date in March. My thing is I want to have 3 boxing matches before I get back in MMA. I'm ready to get back in MMA. I'm not concerned. I'm ready to get back in MMA. Ground game's fine. Wrestled since I was 6. So I really want to do 3 boxing matches before I fight MMA, before I step back in the cage. That's why I'm really pressing my coaches over here in Medellín, Colombia, to find me some boxing, maybe some exhibitions, maybe some smokers before March, and go from there. So, but I did get a date. It's the first weekend of March is when I return to the cage.
Nice. Okay, we're excited for that. Let us know. We'll post it on social media and everything for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
One other question. Yeah, for sure. One other question I wanted to ask you, man, was why do you think people from the United States that live here, younger guys as an example, or even if they're in their 30s or 40s, why do you think that they should at least, visit Colombia at least one time in their life? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
I think because it opens their eyes, not just like to know there's more stuff out there. Things are fun. It's not as dangerous as they say, but it's also to show that everything you see online, everything you see on Netflix, or everything you see on the news, it's so exaggerated. So when they step outside their comfort zone, they come to Colombia, they come visit, they hit me up to set up their whole trip, or it's a group of guys, bachelor party, birthday party, whatever it is a lie. Like, oh, wow, like it's not as dangerous. It's not as now petty crime is a thing here. So it's not as dangerous And when they see that for their personal experience, they see, oh wow, like it's actually not dangerous. It's actually, fun. The weather's great. Things are exaggerated. Then they start realizing that, oh wow, everything I see on Netflix or news is not what it actually is. There's more to it. Behind the closed doors, there's a whole nother world. And I think everybody needs that one point in their life to try that out, step outside their comfort zone. As long as you don't do some dumb stuff at 4 a.m. in the morning, walking home with your phone out in your hand. I mean, you'd get robbed in DC if you did that. It's the same stuff. Petty crime is big in Medellin, yeah, but why is petty crime big in Medellin? Well, you got people walking home at 4 a.m. with their phone out in their hand alone. It's just, you could be in DC, one of those streets you could get robbed. Same thing. I feel safer in Medellin than I do in DC, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad you're getting that message out there, because it's important for us for people that haven't lived there or haven't even visited there. It's important to basically dispel that stigma that it's such the worst place and only drugs, just some of the negative things that you hear. I have a good friend that he visits there, I believe like once or twice a year, and he loves it. So it's good to hear someone else with that same sentiment. So we really appreciate that, man.
I love it there. I've been there twice. I've been to Cartagena and I've been to Medellin.
There's so much more to Medellin. There's so much more to Colombia than all the drugs, the prostitutes, and there's other things you can do, and that's one of the things I loved about. That's what I love about living here is, there is a lot to do, and you can do more. You can do so much more with so much less money than you would have to spend in the States. You can get more bang for your buck, is what they say, right? So, and back to what you were saying with the Barranquilla. Oh, I love Barranquilla. Barranquilla, if Barranquilla had more stuff to do, I would actually be living there. That's actually a girl I dated from Barranquilla for a year. We lived together and everything. My first year here in Medellin. I would say that was my first love. I gotta admit. And love makes you do crazy things, man. Love. I learned Spanish much quicker than an average person. I think truly because I was very infatuated with this person, and I just wanted to understand her more and talk in her language, and that got me to learn Spanish a lot quicker. That was Barranquilla is great. I love it.
The total time that you've lived down there now is how long? About how many years?
March will be 4 years.
Okay. And you definitely that's something that you recommend, that other people look at that option as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you ever come to Medellin, let me know. Come out with me. Part of what I do here, this is what separates me from a lot of other companies, a lot of tours, a lot of hosts. What separates me from a lot of them is I've learned a lot about the promoting the nightclub scene from being in America, from working there in nightclubs for the past 8 years. I was a light tech, but I would also, I can promote very easily. People come, show up to the club, I make money, sell a table, yada, yada, yada. I did that, bring girls out. That's the most important thing. The best party is where are the hottest girls. I'm sorry to say. That's life. That's society. That's how it is. So what I ended up doing is I brought that same knowledge over to Medellín Colombia. And let me tell you, man, these people that work in the same tourism industry that I do, they're mind blown. I'm consulting other people sometimes, because what I've done now is, okay, I've met so many normal girls that like to go out, not prostitutes, not stuff like that. I stray away from that stuff. So that right there, I can bring 30, 40, 50 normal girls, invite them all, pretty cute, come out to one location. Maybe we go to a club all together. I've done boat parties here with 60, 70 people, 10 guys, 50 girls, mansion. How have I done that? Well, because normal girls like going out. You don't have to just go find, girls that work like that, what they call working girls, and mix that into business. That's you don't have to do that. So one of the biggest things that separates me from a lot of those other tour companies, and other tour companies sometimes hit me up, kind of consult them, or they'll send me their clients like, hey, can you set this up tonight? They want to a mansion and they want 20 girls to show up. I'm like, cool, perfect. Boom. Now I make, depending on who it is, 40, 60%. They make the other amount, the rest of that. So, and they're not even my clients, but guess what? I'm still making American dollars with that. And I'm charging a little, not expensive. We're talking about per guy, $70 to $200 per guy. It's chump change when you have people coming from America over to Colombia to have a good time for that week that they're here, a bachelor party. People spend a lot of money on bachelor parties. So from just that, that amount of money per guy, boom. And do you think a Colombian is gonna or anybody working here in that industry, anybody, do you think they're gonna be unhappy if I pay them $400 for doing nothing? Absolutely not.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, man, one other thing I wanted to jump into was, I have a lot of friends that I'm from New York City originally, and they visit Colombia. And I noticed what some of the parallels they speak about is the cultural diversity and just the food, the Spanish food and the Spanish culture and the influence. How would you compare that? I don't know if you've ever been to New York City, but just that all around American lifestyle.
Me and Patrick went. We used to go before COVID, like once a month. But yeah,
nice.
Go ahead.
Okay, so how would you compare the two? If someone's, I know there's it's the cost of living is cheaper, but how would you, compare the two?
You said Medellín and New York, yeah?
Yes, New York City.
Okay. Now, in terms of food, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They don't really believe too much in spices here. They barely believe in salt. So, a lot of the food here is very bland. Chicharrón, bandeja paisa. Bandeja paisa is a very popular dish. And, well, what's bandeja paisa, you ask? Well, bandeja paisa is a chicharrón, rice, beans, avocado, and an egg. That's typically what it is. That is bandeja. That's one of their most famous dishes. And then you have ajiaco, which is a soup. Ajiaco is potatoes, broth, chicken, avocado, and rice. And I might be missing a couple of tiny other things, but those are the most important ingredients. So as you can tell, I just said the two most famous dishes in Colombia. I mean, you can make that in America and probably even have more flavor back in America. No effect. I'm not dogging the food. It's just the wow factor of food. Colombian food that's not really a thing. Now, there are great restaurants. Obviously people make food here that is very good and has flavor. It's not like I'm saying, for example, some people go to Italy and they're like, wow, all the food was amazing. 100%. The same about Colombia. Unfortunately, they would not. It's not really known for their food here. Now, everything else, I think is great. I mean, they even have an app called Rappi. Rappi is like Uber Eats times 1,000. You can order someone to go pick up your laundry, which I have to do in about an hour. So pretty cool app. But in comparison to the food flavor, yeah, I mean, New York all day when it comes to the flavor of food. I talked a lot about, coming to Medellín and all that. There are definitely safety precautions you want to be aware of. There is a popular drug that there have been working girls that unfortunately, rest in peace to those that have had this happen to them. It's called scopolamine, and that is a drug where if they put it in your drink, it's not to scare you. It's just to make you aware. They put it in your drink, and if you take a sip of that, if you take too much, you die. A little bit, it does exactly what they want to do to you, and you become exactly. They tell you, oh, empty your bank account into my wallet. You'll do it. It's the craziest. It's crazy. So you have no function, a memory, or nothing, and they'll rob you. Now, I'm only telling you this because majority of the times that happens when you have guys 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Obviously, okay, some guys are horny. They want girls to come hang out with them. It's late. They, went home alone. Now they have to figure out what to do now. They're on vacation. Well, they get some girl from the street. They don't know her. She comes to their place that they're staying. They're careless. They're drunk. They take a drink from a drink, whatever drink they made, and they didn't even look at them while they made the drink. I'm sorry, but you got to be aware of your surroundings. Head on a swivel. You're in a foreign country. This is not a common thing that happens, but it has happened to people that I know.
And what was the name of that drug?
Scopamine.
Scopamine. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it happened. One of my really good clients who became a good friend of mine. Recently, that happened to him a couple months ago, and she took all he had, man. It's pretty sad. So now he's fighting back to get that back, and I got plenty of stories, man. Trust me. But I'll just leave it at that. How that stuff ends up happening, but it's just, these are things you do want to be aware of. Don't walk home at 2-3 a.m. with your phone out in your hand alone. Don't accept random drinks from strangers. Be aware.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What would you say the biggest difference in your own personal experience is between the women in Colombia and the women in the States?
I would say, oh man, I hope I don't piss people off with this answer.
That's the whole point of All Motion.
Yeah.
We want to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah. So look, man, I'm not a bad looking guy. I've been on countless dates in the States, met plenty of women. I've worked in nightclubs. Nightclubs. You work in nightclubs, man, or the music industry. Girls just flock to you. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum, dating American women, dating women in other countries, Colombia, obviously. The expectations of a woman back in the States is so, it's like, it's out of this world. And I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. And I do a lot of reading, and it's pretty sad how society has turned, the dating scene has turned out of the mentality that I'm not saying all women, but majority of women in the state, in America, have this expectation of, okay, I'm going to go on a date with this guy. It's a first date, okay? He better be ready to buy me all this, pay my apartment, blah blah blah. And I'm sorry, but who are you? What have you brought? What are you bringing to the table? I'm sorry, I'm sure you're a great person.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans! I can't yell it out enough.
Man, don't even get me started.
No, but you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean,
yeah,
you know what
man,
I'm talking about.
Absolutely. And it sucks because listen here. Society has now turned into, okay, we have OnlyFans, webcam models. Now that stuff is very popular here in Medellin. A lot of girls do that here. You can weed out the good ones of who to take out on a date and who not. And back in the States, OnlyFans has created such a negative environment for dating, because these girls that do OnlyFans, these girls that see other girls, their friends do OnlyFans, they talk. Their friends that do OnlyFans talk to them like, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm going to Dubai, blah, blah, blah. And the saddest thing is, if that guy left that female and decided not to talk to her anymore, she would be totally okay, because she knows, oh, now on to the next. Find the next guy to use for his money and cool trips. It's sad, man. And OnlyFans teaches females how to be manipulative. I'm sorry to say. That industry, I know a lot. I used to manage OnlyFans accounts. I've seen it all, so I have, some opinions. It sucks to see girls turn into that. Now, obviously some girls work in OnlyFans. It's just like, girls that go out and work at strip clubs. I admire and I respect the female that works in these environments and has a goal and has to do what she has to do, get her money, and then get out. Rather than, okay, I'm keep doing this, boom, boom, boom. Oh, he found out I'm cheating on him. Oh, on to the next guy. Oh no, he knows I'm cheating on him too. Okay, well, who to find now? That's what OnlyFans is teaching females, is how to manipulate the next guy. And that's not cool. Yeah, comparison, women here are, I feel like, more genuine. They're not judgmental. That's a big thing. They don't,
they have a sense of family and community. Do you understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And that being said, values are different. Okay?
Yeah.
I can speak on this for a second. I know ScarCity, he could speak on it as well, being from New York City. There's a lot of broken homes in the United States. And I can speak on this because of my experience in the program I got sent to when I was 16 years old. Okay. At a young age, and that's where I met a good friend from Brooklyn. And, you know, he's Puerto Rican. And the way he grew up, he just told me, it was just, you know, at 16, I didn't, you know what I mean? Living that life firsthand and you know, meeting people and then meeting some of the young women in the young ladies in the young teenagers, excuse me, in the program. To your point, that is what shapes the foundation of making the women who they are and what they're about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That's why, trust me, I understand everybody comes from different backgrounds, and I'm speaking about the broad aspect of, you know, kind of how things have been put in a negative aspect in the dating scene, and it's because of these industries like OnlyFans, webcam modeling. I mean, social media. Geez, like nowadays, you can really find out who you're interested just by swiping right. Like all these apps, you know, have really ruined dating, and even girls, a lot of people, not even just girls, but a lot of people don't even know how to have conversations because they're so used to just texting. You know, nobody knows how to talk in person anymore. And I'll tell you, all these companies, all these apps are not helping that scene. And that's why I said not all women are like that. But unfortunately, when you see girls going on dates, you know, a lot of them are always, he better buy me this, he better buy me that. Yeah, that would be nice, I'm sure. But what are you bringing to the table for that to happen? What are we going to accomplish together for me to feel not even just obligated, but feel happy to buy you a purse, buy you these things, pay for your apartment, stuff like that. Like, and so many men, and I hate seeing it. I see it so much in Medellin. They lead with their front foot, and their front foot is their wallet. And it's like, no, that's how you get a female not to respect you. They have to earn. You got to get them to earn that respect, not just lead with the front foot.
Oh, I got to interject, man. To your point, women in the United States, from a psychological perspective, are conditioned, keyword conditioned, to have men pay for them in the United States. That's why when men travel to Colombia, they think, because the men are conditioned to pay for it, to buy bottle service, to buy her a butt, to buy her breasts, to fly her out. But now we transition into these women. They don't need no man in the United States. They're from the state.
Yeah.
ScarCity and I met a woman that came on our All in Motion Instagram page, Breagan. And you know what she said to us? And then ScarCity did a little, you know, background investigation. We found out really where she came from. She had 11 million followers. You know what she said when she came on our platform to us?
Tell me.
You guys don't even have 1 million. She had 11.5 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
ScarCity, I know you gotta go. Can you shed light on that real quick, ScarCity? Because I know you did some real extensive background investigation.
You know, I'm not gonna give all the secrets. You know, people in cybersecurity know there's many layers to not just like the dark web, but just the internet. You know, there's a lot of ways to get information, but especially when you know person's profile and handle. But yeah, I was interested because he had 11 million followers. But you know what I look at is the engagement on a person's social media. So okay, you have 11 million followers, but it's like these are all just men and women that are interested in you. It's not like they're interested in your business. They're just interested in your body and your looks and the fact that you have OnlyFans and the fact that, you know, it's paid to play, basically. And she kind of looked down on us. And that's funny when you make a comparison like that, where we're doing something where we're using intellect, right? We're not using like our body part or, you know what I mean? Or jewelry or anything like that to make the podcast blow up. Like the whole point of this podcast is that, you know what I mean? And
that's a very good point. I like that perspective big time. No, absolutely. You're correct. I don't have to. Yeah, man. And that's that's that mindset that a woman will gain when they're working in industries as an influencer, as an OnlyFans model. Like, and it's such a negative environment, and it sucks because it's going to be very, and they don't realize the harsh reality of this is it's going to be very hard mentally to get back to a normal lifestyle, to think as a normal person. Because when you go out in public and you do all these, do a normal thing and with a normal group of friends, everyone's not thinking, oh, well, I'm only going to go hang out with these friends or only talk to this person at the party if they have 1 million followers. Like, and they don't realize how that's that manipulating mindset subconsciously. And it's sad to know that, oh, someone's not willing to engage or be more involved in something just because, oh, they don't have this amount of followers. It's crazy to me, but that is unfortunately how society has turned into now. And that's especially the influencer industry.
Well, Breagan, appreciate you, man. We really do. This has been one of the best interviews ScarCity and I have done in a long time. So, number one, we thank you for your time, sir. And before we close it out, man, is there anything else that you would like to educate the world with your distinct wisdom?
Thank you guys so much for having me. And if you're ever in Medellín, if you're ever in Colombia, let me know.
And your contact information if you want to share that with the audience.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Follow me at Legal Jordan Belfort. So a lot of people know me as Jordan. I just don't like having my real name just everywhere in the world. So Legal Jordan Belfort. People think my name is Jordan just because of that. I go by Jordan. That's okay. Legal Jordan Belfort. The Belfort is Belfort. And Jordan, obviously. Legal Jordan Belfort. And yeah, if you guys have any questions for me about traveling, Patrick, my business partner, he does a lot of coaching, but he does a lot of coaching for men, in business and the social aspects as well, building social circles, using social circles to basically build every other aspect of your life.
I like what he said, men's self-development, what he called it. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I like that. I really do. That's
Yes.
very, very professional. And really absolutely, man. Hey, man, I'm glad. Thank you for being very flexible. And for the audience that doesn't know, I had the pleasure of hosting Breagan on here in the DMV. So until next time, this is Jake from All Motion. Breagan, you sure anything else you want to drop before you close it out?
I'm all good. I'm all good, brother.
All right. Well, we thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Breagan with Patrick. We'll follow back up.
Perfect. Sounds good, brother.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Take care and be safe.
You too. Bye.
Thank you again, Breagan, for stopping by All Motion and sharing a powerful story and your experience. Make sure you all follow Breagan. And if you're in Colombia, make sure you hit him up. We have his information here. And please tune in next time as we interview Breagan and his business partner, Patrick. That's going to be an amazing interview. Please make sure you check out allmotionpodcast.com so that you can follow and listen to all of our interviews and catch new things we have going on, videos. There's a lot going on in 2025. I'm starting out very good. For Melissa Jackson, ScarCity, and myself, take care and be safe. Aim for life.